Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with a Dark Dimension 8 update in regards to where my account is at currently, what I'm waiting for, as well as some of the regrets that I had going through it, because I do hope I can share some insight for those of you getting ready to push further into Dark Dimension 8. As you know, this is the newest Dark Dimension featuring Odin, as well as the first time where, T3 Ice Weight Purple is required to actually equip on these characters to push through. Now, in case you're not aware and you're watching this, hopefully while this event is still on, this To Valhalla event is currently ongoing, right, for the next 20 days at time recording. Now, the reason you want to be focusing on this is because the more nodes you do, the more rewards you're going to be able to get in terms of Crimson. There's additional ions that you can take advantage of, as you can see, which is going to obviously help you prepare characters to go forward. But more importantly, I think Milestone 6, which is currently the one I've already completed, is probably going to be the most accessible for those that are free to play like myself. I am personally gunning for Milestone 10, hopefully within the next 20 days. If I can get to Milestone 10, I can get the 6 red on Odin. That's the goal. The reason why Milestone 6 is good is because it also gives you a 5 red of Odin. So in my eyes, that's actually pretty good already. And essentially you get 1 milestone per node that you complete. Now, I'm going to show you each of the teams I use and the sections I'm currently waiting on right now, just because I do want to share some insight that you don't necessarily need Gear Tier 19. More importantly, I think if you folks have not gotten through Dark Dimension 7 yet, that should still be the focus, because it's still the build-up of Mephisto and getting his unlock. He's going to be more impactful, whereas we don't know what the future of the landscape for Ice Weight Purple is going to be. We don't know how this is going to get released later on. Could be in the way of the Battle World, new game mode that's coming to Marvel Strike Force, and more importantly, we don't know how the events are going to be circulated around and how limited these ions will be, because this is kind of where revenues are going to be ramped up here for folks that want to partake, and this is going to be that specific and unique limited feature that Scopely can obviously sell for folks wanting to partake. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean you can't do this in tandem with Dark Dimension 7. It's just the Crimson Gear is more accessible than the purple ions, right? So it just makes sense to do what is more feasible for your account. And again, because we're free to play, we're okay with just waiting and being patient. When these ions come out in more of a farmable manner, we'll take advantage of it. Having said that, the section I am currently waiting on right now, and again, big shout out to all the leaderboard events that I've been doing exceptionally well on. That's how I've been able to get enough ions to at least get this far. As you can see, progress, we're 46% completed and waiting on the non-legendary global hero, because I just don't have enough ions to bring in the next 5 set of characters, right? And that's probably going to be the same story until the very end here, until we find out more information on how this is going to get released to the public. Okay, so I just want to start things off here with the first mission. We're going to go through the number of attacks and the teams and why I chose the characters I did. I went with the meta. I also wanted to make sure that I was including some characters that could give you value later on. So we know with Robbie and Penny Parker, they're going to obviously have value in the city section. So I did want to mix that up a bit. The reason Thanos Endgame and Super Skrull are included is because, and as well as Apocalypse, they're in the arena meta. They're some of the best characters in the game. So it made sense. I also wanted a team that could regenerate energy. And it's nice that Skrull has the exposure, the turn meter manipulation. Apocalypse actually is going to be utilized in the global villains, so he just has immediate value. I think I would highly recommend this team. We were able to one-shot it. Not that, you needed this team to one-shot it, but I mean, if we're waiting for ions anyways, the focus here is making sure that we're efficient and at the same time, still able to use characters that are quite relevant in the meta. And I think the only one that's kind of a slight regret is Robbie, because he was already geared up for Dark Dimension 7, so it kind of made sense for me. But then later on, I found out that the nodes are tuned against them, and you'll see that later on in the city hero trait. But in all honesty, if we're waiting for ions and so forth, it's probably not going to make a big deal in the grand scheme. He's still one of the better characters in the game, and I do like his kit, but it's unfortunate that Dark Dimension 8 was tuned around shutting down Robbie, and you'll see that in the later attempts. But this is a god tier level team. I definitely highly would recommend it. If you guys are wondering how well they function, exceptionally well. I'll have that footage out for you guys when I do go through it. Oh, sorry, skip the node there. Second node, same story, the exact same 5, and they just got through it quite easily. As you can see, it was nice that they had the Gear Tier 19, but honestly speaking, you probably gotten this done with Gear Tier 18 characters as well. Note 3. So this is going to be the first one where we do go through and utilize some city hero characters. And as you can see, 4 out of the 5 characters that I have here are actually the same characters that I utilize in Dark Dimension 7. So this is why it's important to make sure that you're being mindful of another Dark Dimension, because you can take advantage of value. Obviously, this isn't the best team. You could have probably just brought in the full Spire Society and walked over. But guys, it's 3 attacks. We're leveraging some increased gear tier level from Dark Dimension 7, and the only exception was Penny Parker because I need some sort of energy supplementation, and to supplement a character like Noir as well as Peter B, it made it a huge deal here. So overall 3 attacks. Like I said, Robbie wasn't exactly great, but 3 attacks for the first node, not bad. It's not enough to say, hey, Robbie was a bad investment, but if you guys are planning to bring in Spire Society, they are going to be better. But having said that, we're waiting for ions anyway, so just food for thought. Exact same story here with the second node of the city hero, which is Robbie was shut down completely. And I actually went a different route. I actually decided to bring in Pav this time around, but this time I took out big time Spider-Man and I added Pav. And although he was gear tier 18, the synergy of Spire Society, that's really kind of the telling story here. So again, emphasis on the fact that we can use leverage value from Dark Dimension 7, but at the same time, know that you don't need gear tier 19. Especially don't bring up characters to gear tier 19 for this game mode. Dark Dimension 7 takes precedence, but at the same time, if you want to take advantage of some synergies here, for sure, because I did find that worked out better. You can see I tried, without big time Spider-Man. I don't think he was the best investment here, but he was cheap and he was controller. But overall, Spire Society is probably the way to go here. I just wanted to make sure I was, maximizing the value I could. Okay, so mission 5. This is where it got a little bit interesting, because you can see here, I actually utilized 4 characters gear tier 18, and only Vulture for the city villain section was the gear tier 19 character. Now, I wanted to try this out because I could see on the leaderboard other folks were having success. The downside with this is that I don't think my hive mind characters, so like Carnage and Red Goblin, they didn't have enough stats. So it was really about shutting down using crowd controlling. I love Mysterio and Lizard, but remember, Mysterio's AoE crowd controlling only impacts if there's 2 Superior 6 characters. So in this case, it didn't apply. We needed another Superior 6 character to be added into this mix, but I still wanted to see if we can get the job done. So even with this node, with the city villains, we got it done with 4 attacks using a majority group of gear tier 18 characters and Vulture. Then I decided to switch things up here in the second node of city villain. What I did is I actually brought in Kraven just to see if it was better. It was a little better in terms of control. Kraven took the place there of my Carnage because Carnage wasn't really proving to be that useful. But at the same time, honestly, 4 or 5 attacks and you're waiting for ions to build up anyways, not too bad, guys. So there you have it. Those are all my attacks right now up to node 6, and now I'm currently waiting for the global hero, all the ions to build up there slowly but surely. We'll see how long that takes. Hopefully I can give you guys an update, but yeah, that's my Dark Dimension 8 progress right now, guys. Hopefully this is helpful. Remember, you don't necessarily need gear tier 19, and if I can go back, I think Spire Society was probably the best way to go. But honestly speaking, if you already built up some of these characters like Robbie and Big Time Spider-Man, you want to use them, it's probably just going to take you plus minus another attack or 2. So it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme, guys. But if you want to be more efficient, invest in the meta. Spire Society is the way to go. And it seems like the full synergy of Superior 6, Sinister 6 was probably the better answer, but we were able to experiment and we didn't have to invest in the gear tier 19, which is nice. Let me know what your guys' game plan is. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.